Good for you. Okay, so I'm going to start with a local question actually, and I'm going to get right in there with the tough one.
Yeah, of course.
So in this constituency, 65% voted to leave the EU.
Right. Yeah.
So why should the people of South Staffordshire support a candidate that's going to potentially ignore that vote?
Well, I don't think I could be accused of ignoring the vote, or anyone could be accused of ignoring the vote. We've spent the last 3.5 years trying to enact the result of the referendum, but we haven't been able to do it. And there's a reason we haven't been able to do it. It's because the promises made to the people during that referendum were fundamentally undeliverable, and that's why we've ended up with the paralysis that we've seen for the last few years. And what I think is that every major decision one makes in one's life, you very rarely just go with the gut and absolutely go with it and stick with it when all the evidence to the contrary says it's a bad decision. It's a bit like buying a house. You see a house you like from the outside, you put an offer in and you think, yes, I could see myself living there, I could go for that. But then you have a survey which tells you what buying that house entails. You see it there in black and white, what problems might exist with that property. And that is basically what we have now. We have the withdrawal agreement. We see what leaving the EU actually entails, as opposed to broad sunlit uplands described by Boris Johnson. We actually now see it in black and white, and we have something concrete, a concrete proposition on which the people could vote. And so that's why, for the last 3 years, we've been asking for a people's vote, a referendum, a chance for the people to decide, do we want to exchange contracts on this property? Are we happy with this deal? And that's all we've asked, that the people should be given an informed opportunity to make a judgment on what is the most important issue that's faced this country since the war. Okay. Now, we tried 17 times to get that vote, 17 times in Parliament. Every time it was knocked back. And now we've ended up with a general election. And our revoke position, which has attracted criticism, was an attempt to say, all right, you won't give us a people's vote, so what we'll do is we'll sort of turn this general election into a kind of quasi-people's vote by putting Remain on the ballot paper. Now, in order to do that, we had to say we will revoke, so that the people go into the polls at a clear proposition. Now, of course, that attracts the criticism. Well, you're just going to revoke it without asking us again. Well, our point was, all along, was we would only ever revoke in a situation where we went from winning 12 seats in 2017. We have more now, but that's not as a result of the election. We'd have gone from 12 seats in 2017, just 2 years ago, to 326.
Yeah.
And then we said, if that happened, we would revoke. And if that happened, that would be the greatest political earthquake in British history, and would certainly represent a mandate to revoke. Now, I'm a realist. I'm not going to lie to you. It seems very unlikely that scenario is going to unfold. So what our MPs will do when elected will be to push and push and push for that people's vote, and use any influence that we have in the next Parliament to try and bring about a second referendum.